discussion is going to be like comparing our SLAs based from last week. So I think Mr. Jin, can you help us make the breakout session? Oh,
Oh,
cool.
sure. Somebody have already done that. All right, great.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay then. See you at 2:55 then.
All right, see you, everybody.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Let's take a quick look. Does anybody have? Does anybody know who the second moderator is? Because the first moderator went into the. Did Vera assign anybody a moderator role here today?
Actually, it's me, sir,
Oh,
for
okay.
today.
All right. That's Irene. Irene, go ahead. Take it away.
Okay. So yeah, could you see my screen?
Very clearly, Irene.
Okay. So first of all, we will check about the sales and business developments, which have updates from 46 distribution post to 50. But in here still 18 June. So the secretary, please help me to remind Shilins about the updates.
I'm free right
And okay, thank you. And from here, actually it's 50, yeah, 50 to 58. So there are 8 distribution posts. And there are plus 4 applicants from 65 to 69. And okay, for the updates itself, distribution posts achieved in 13th. Applicants still not achieved. FTD candidates is in the middle funnels. And okay, frictions of issues, quality of applicants not as good, a little worse than previous week, say, red flags from their past employment story. Okay, for the actionable itself, Furkan will work with the competition's winners hunt. Can you explain more about this, Furkan?
Okay, so as we've discussed in last Saturday meeting, um, we should target to more career and calling stage of employees in this case, right? So yeah, from that, Mr. Jing and also all of us figure that competition is one of the sets or of the indicators that what people have the sense of career or calling in terms of doing the job. So yeah, I guess targeting the like marketing plan or business plan or business case competition might be good, and it is what I am doing right now in the thinking.
Okay, thank you, Furkan. So, any words from Mr. Jing?
Yeah, a few things. So, two things actually. One, I really appreciate how the campaign manager actually did the summary for us today, Irene. So, normally we would have to go back and check do we actually meet the SLA or not. So, I'm not sure how this happened, but this is great. We can already see that Shaylin summarized what has been achieved and what has not been achieved, and what is the quality of these candidates. So I think that's great. Let's keep on expecting that of Shaylin then, so that we can have more effective discussions. Two, I have a heads up for you, Furkan. Furkan. So in the past, we have had BVE talks, and in these BVE talks, we have mailing lists where people have participated. We have had BVE talks targeting specifically people for sales and business development roles. And as a result of that, we already have people who are approaching Bukit Vista with a sense of calling. I think it might be a good idea to dig up that list and just hit everybody with an email saying, "Hey, look, we're doing these or we're hiring a full-time role. Would you be interested?" So the person who should be able to get you access to that can be Ilham or Shaylin. Yeah, I think they can get you access to those old mailing lists that we've created, and that can get you accelerated in this pivot. Back to Aaron.
Okay, so next we will discuss about the HAR. Okay, for the updates itself from 4 distribution posts to 6. And there are plus two applicants for today, and the one who is in charge of distribution post in Fuji. Okay, there are also updates from humans. Frictions, previous applicants MIA drop out, and two new applicants CV rejected, which is unqualified. For the actionables, Fuji, there are some details that might help. Both applicants applied in 19 June, both from LinkedIn, and both are looking for a job. We also need more distribution posts that we're still missing for. So, any words from Fuji?
Okay, so I have no distribution post yet because there is no response from them, but I will try hard for tomorrow and for the days after this crowd.
Okay, if we may know, like how much outreach or maybe some response that you get last week.
Last week I sent for uh, 14, 14 universities, but no response from them. Just a response from the professor itself. Just sending the signature, not have the words something like interesting about the Vista or want to share the distribution post. Yeah.
Oh, okay. If we may know what kind of signature that they give.
Just signature of like the name of professor and the major that she handled. Yeah,
Oh, okay, I
not a
see, I
message.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe for the next outreach, you
Okay,
could like,
Aaron.
yes,
Hello,
yes,
Aaron.
please, yes,
Okay.
please, Mr. Jin.
Sure. There's a few things I think we need to establish here. Fuji, one is we need to improve your effectiveness for outreach, right? So if we're doing that much outreach and we're only getting a nominal amount of distribution, that means that there's an inefficiency, I think, in your method. Given that I think there is more efficient outreach being done, I think it's a good time for you to probably look and find somebody that can improve your skill set there. That's the first thing. Um, the second thing that I see is let's see if anybody sees what I see here. There was a good practice before, but this particular card doesn't have that same good practice. I'm going to go to Lalita. Lalita, what would you suggest to be able to positively transform this card and perhaps positively transform the way that we are reporting on this card?
Wait, does this card already have SLA?
I think so. Let's take a look. I think it has an SLA already. Yep, it has SLAs. We're looking to get 10 distribution posts a week and 20 applicants a week, which we are far, far behind, right? We are only at 6 distribution posts and only 3 applicants. So that we've already discussed with Pooji. Pooji will need to look at her skill sets and find a way to get that to improve. But there's a second thing that actually we've already seen an improvement. Let's see if we can carry that idea through to the next to this particular instance. Let's go to Latifa. Latifa, do you see that opportunity here?
Actually, yeah, I have several suggestions for this role. For example, you can approach more like a tourism polytechnic in Indonesia. So we have a lot of tourism polytechnic, not just in Bali or Lombok, but also from Sumatra, such as my in my town is Medan. They qualified enough because the students have the graduates of this polytechnic also go to abroad when after graduating. So I think it's qualified enough if you um, get a broader um, outreach for this, uh, in particular for this role HIR.
Okay. All right, good. And I guess we need to go to Pooji. Pooji, just give us an update written on this card. By when do you expect to be able to achieve the SLAs? Yeah? So right now we're a little bit behind, but let's get a deadline for when that will happen. There's one more thing, everybody. Let's go to Furkan. Furkan, did you notice something different about the way this card has been updated versus the previous card?
Okay, so I guess it's more it's more detailed in actionables. The Shumina's campaign manager gives more details
Mhm.
on the actionables. So yeah, maybe Puji could refer that, and that's good thing to carry on.
Okay, got it. Good. Okay, that's good. Let's analyze and make sure that we carry best practices across. I think on all the different all the different SLAs. There is one thing I think I actually appreciated with Shaylin's reporting style. If we can go up and we can, oh, is it possible, Irene, to put Shaylin's report next to Shumen's report by splitting your screen?
Okay, like, wait a minute.
Ah, yes. Okay, great. Ah, fantastic. Very clever. Nice. For some reason, okay, I'll just narrate a little bit. For some reason, I felt like when Shaylin reported the sales in BD, it was a little bit more clear what was on SLA, what wasn't on SLA, right? So she gave a bigger, a more thorough context. Let's take a look at how it was reported. Okay, so if we're taking a look on the left panel, that's Shaylin's update. Taking a look at the right panel, that's Shumen's update, right? So we can see on the left panel which ones have been achieved and which ones have not been achieved. I guess on this particular, the right panel with Schumann's update, she just took a look at the top two, which is actually pretty good. It gives us, as part of the awareness funnel, it gives us a lot of just the right amount of information on what we need to do. But Shaylin's actually taken a little bit further. She's told us what has happened past our stage and given us some insight on that. So how many dropouts and what is particularly the idea. I think I like that a little bit more, in fact, right? Because it offers a little bit more contextual information. We know that 13 is an achieved, and what exactly is not achieved. So let's say, for example, here we can probably come up with a new plan, right? Let's say, for example, we write 13 divided by what? 13 out of 10 achieved. So we know what was achieved and what was the goal, or what was the reality and what was the goal, and was it achieved or not, right? In this particular case, let's say we could see that we had two distribution, but the goal was 10. So we could see basically how deep the deficit has become. So this is just a way, if you're looking at reporting, to have a more clear idea of where there needs to be a prioritization. You can see, okay, on this particular campaign, we're overachieving. On this particular campaign, we're underachieving. But by how much are we underachieving? If it's not reported elegantly, we have to scroll back up to the top and look at it and then come back down again. So um, this can be the way to start inter SLA discussions, right, between yourself and the person on a different SLA and your campaign manager. So let's say, Puji, you could suggest to Shumen, could you actually put down this information in a way so I can see my deficit, right? Am I -8? Am I -5? So that it's more clearly stated instead of saying never meet all SLAs, right? That part maybe isn't as helpful and isn't as quantitative. So, okay, good. That is a potential thing that you can pick up if you're chairing Iron to see, oh, okay, you can see two systems, and then you can see which system is working better, and then try to create a system that is then consistent with the best practice. Okay, back over to the chair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jing. So, okay. Wait a minute. Okay. So next we will move to Bali content creator intern. So there are distribution posts from 21 to 21, but okay. Actually, there are still no updates yet today. And there are one applicants come. And also, okay, Jenna also put the updates. And for this week, there are 9 distribution posts, so it's achieves. And but there's one applicant and this is not achieved. Friction, difficult to find the right channel to get good quality candidates. University in Bali usually didn't respond and currently trying to pivot to national competitions. And for the actionables, Jenna will have a meetup with Lalita to know more about the current outreach plans and strategy to understand better by the end of this week. Okay, any words from you, Lalita?
Okay, so actually, I haven't gotten any distribution post yet because they haven't responded to me. And currently, I'm trying to find competitions in Bali and in national. And what is it? I will compile all of the competitions that I have, that I will find, and also some universities that I know they have uh, great audience for Bali content creator, and I will distribute all of those tomorrow morning.
Okay, so if you already get the distribution post or any outreach from you, please update the card, yeah?
Okay, Iron.
Yes?
Okay, let me jump in again. There's three things I want to bring up in this particular update, Lalita. One, you do have distribution posts, right? So I'm not sure why you're telling us you don't have distribution posts. Do you mean for the upcoming week? Is that correct?
No, I mean today.
Oh, okay. All right, got it. Okay, I think we need to be precise here because according to Jenna, you've actually achieved your distribution post SLA, which is good, right? It means that you shouldn't short report yourself. Okay, this is in contrast with the previous card. So we can see here that Lolita's making progress on the first stage of her SLA. She's actually doing the work, and the distribution posts are actually happening. The second part, which is getting the applicants, isn't happening. So we know it's something about conversion then, Lolita. We know that it's going out there, but somehow people aren't converting and they're not persuaded. So this might have something to do with the channel of the distribution or the messaging, right? The message is going out, but it's just not changing anybody's mind. You might not have the right audience. Maybe Bali itself is too small of an audience, and so that's why you and I are discussing on Trello how to expand that audience and perhaps bring somebody from outside the region into Bali. The third thing I wanted to bring up was this tracking, right? We have that lookalike audience plan that we had with the professional roles. Perhaps you can look for a lookalike audience for people who are already successful content creators, like on Instagram or YouTube. If you see somebody who has a large audience and such, maybe engage with them. Ask them, hey, look, where did you go to school? What clubs did you join? I'm really interested in finding more people who can inspire me and inspire yourself too as well, right? So that I think can be an approach to be more specific and more targeted, so that you resonate with an audience that sounds with that message. The more time you actually hang out with people who've already succeeded in a particular thing, the more you actually learn how they think and how why they're motivated to do certain things, and that will improve the quality of your message and also where you go to post that message to as well. So I think you can explore that tactic a little bit more thoroughly, Lolita. Yeah.
I have a simple question. Can I still outreach people in Bali, like universities or such things that is specific in Bali, but with the same benefit that people outside Bali will get?
Yeah, sure. I think that can be okay too as well. It's a little bit like this that I've noticed though. When you import somebody into, let's say, Bali, they're always more grateful to be there, right, than somebody who is already living there. So the benefit thing is a little bit skewed. If you're looking for somebody in Bali, then maybe oh okay, they don't see that as a benefit. I get that anyway. But if you import somebody in and they had some doubts before, they might see it as a greater benefit. You're better, I think, budgeting that benefit to somebody outside who will probably be more grateful for it than somebody who is already here who, they already have a motorbike and they already have internet and they already have a place to live. So to them, it actually might not even be a benefit at all. It might be actually a detriment because they have to, relocate themselves to a different part of the island. So I think for those benefits, yes, you can offer, but I think you should. The problem is that nothing is motivating these people to step forward, right, on calling and on career. So if they're going to be motivated just by a little bit of stipend money, that might not be the right candidate either. right? So it has to be somebody who wants to develop their career, they want to create a portfolio, and that is the primary reason for them to want to have this opportunity and understand how to use these tools for content creation. Okay.
Okay. So for next like campaigns, actually it's me who like person in charge for this. And for today we have like updates for distribution posts, and there are plus three applicants for today. And let's see, okay, there are update from Farah too. For the action point, we are still considering one candidates and performance. Okay, achieve only distribution SLA, which is 16th. But for the applicants, we need four more, six from 10. And also SLA for the rest funnel stage not achieved. And conclusion actionable is CV screening for two new candidates. So I think for my next actionable, I need to discuss more with Farah, like to find the most like, or maybe find the source of these applicants, and also doing more better outreach. Any words from you, Mr. Jing?
Pass it around, see if anybody else has any comments on it. Yeah?
Okay. Any comments? Maybe from Forkans or Lalita or Latifa or Puji?
Not so far from me. Thank you.
Okay. If no, let's proceed to next card. Okay, next is BI chapter interns. Wait, is it question mark distribution post? Wait. I think this is a new card, which the distribution post PIC is Latifa. Okay, does Ilham already tell you about this, Latifa?
Yeah, he just tell me about this. So I start this role on this week. So yeah, I will start this role on this week.
Okay, so I think I'll read for the updates. For the action points, we need one candidate for OA and one DS trial candidate for this week. For the performance, we already achieved the distribution SLA, which is 10. And for the conclusions and actionable is CV screening from Sfera and compare SLA for other funnel stage. Okay, next is PD
Oh,
chapter.
if I may,
Yes.
Aaron, yeah. So the same message that I gave I think, to Furqan, I'd like to give to Latifa as well. Latifa, we've had actually BDE talks in the past, multiple BDE talks in the past, where we have gathered, I think, over 300 potential registrations, all interested in data science. So I think this could be actually another good opportunity to develop two things. One, we already have relationships with multiple clubs and societies that are student organized in the topic of data science. So we can reapproach them and ask them, hey, would you be happy to distribute this internship opportunity? So that is an example of actual public relation, right? We already have that relationship, then we need to nurture it. And on the same note, we have a list. I think it's over 300 of people who have come to data science e-talks in the past, and we can definitely pivot on that. I'll put a note of that onto this activity board so that you're knowledgeable about it and can take a look at that. Yeah, before reinventing the wheel.
Actually, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, so what I heard before when you told Kak Furkon about these tips, you also like mentioned that you can we can email the from the email list that we already get, right?
Yeah.
So is it can be included as the distribution post number.
Ah, that counts as one distribution post, right? So if you hit the email list, just count that as one. Don't count that as 300, because it's essentially just one. Yeah, yeah, that's a distribution post. Exactly. That is exactly a distribution post. So if you email all three, okay, the number of distribution posts is the number of times you actually deliberately make an attempt to distribute, right? So if you make one attempt to address all 300 people, that's one distribution post. But that being said, you can actually be a little bit more targeted as well. You can think of the nuances and the differences between each school, between genders, right? You can make an opportunity for women. You can make, yeah, I think that's better, right? Don't make an opportunity just for men and exclude women on that. But you can make an opportunity just for women. You can make an opportunity for just a certain group of people, for last year graduates or second year. So you can split that audience into many different subcategories and create new distribution for that. That is generally a more sophisticated and an advanced way to think of how to do PR. How do I create these subgroups? Because that improves your likelihood of having an audience message match, right? If I know that somebody is reaching out specifically to me because I'm a female third year student going to this school, and the message says we're looking for female third year students going to this school, I'm more likely to respond, right? Because I know that's for me. But if it's just like students all across Indonesia, or hey, students across the world, or hey, anybody who has a pulse and is between 20 and 22, it's not very specific, and I might not be. So yes, there is a philosophy behind distributions, and if you send it one time, it is counts as one, but you can cut the audience up into many groups. So that's one opportunity within the mailing list. The second opportunity is to develop relationships or rekindle the relationships that we have with student groups and ask them, hey, look, we have a new opportunity now. Would you be happy to distribute this again and work on those past relationships? If you need any help with that, you can reach out to me. I have relationships with pretty much all the past student groups that we work with. Ilham actually knows a lot of them too as well. So Ilham, or I can be your gateway to rekindling those student relationships.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I will ask Kak Ilham after this.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jing and Latifa. So next we will proceed to PD chapter interns. Okay, the distribution PIC is Latifa, and there are four distribution post updates, and there are also a lot of applicants for today. For actually eight applicants, yeah. And let's see if there. Oh, okay. There's a lot from Shumin. Okay. For the updates, there are four distribution posts and eight applicants. Okay, frictions. Number one is FE, three more dropouts. Two, no reason after sending TNC, one MIA with a completing OA, and two CV rejected, no motivations. One pending for Topolio applied for BE2. And the number two friction is for BE, which one applicant is considering after asking for benefits of unpaid internship. And one possible dropout never completed OA and following up. And there are also updates through dropouts. Okay. The actionables for FE is follow up once their MIA of their deadline already set, and follow up to Latifa to give more details from Shumins. And for PO, QA, and UI UX, we will ask Vera for that. And long-term potential issues, we have like not very efficient to have as Shumin is that SM Shumins and Vera on one campaigns, which the entire middle funnel on most high priority campaigns might need to relook into this. And no need to split campaign card for PD. SLA as a wall, but should the SLA break into the five roles too, we will ask Shilin for this. And also Shilin will reconfirm with by you on the SLAs.
Okay, Iron, here's a question. Does anybody want to give a shot for what we need to do better in awareness in order to avoid these? Where is the problem exactly? and what would be your recommended solution to solve it? Let's pass this to I don't know. Let's pass it to Lolita first. Lolita, what do you think? What is the problem with the applicants, and what would we do to resolve it?
I think the problem is that I see many drop out, and also they have. So I guess it seems that they have no motivation. So I think we can actually. I keep on thinking maybe we can try to be more specific on the people that we're looking for, such as uh, like student activity in universities. Because if they join the student activity, that means they are interested in that field.
Correct, correct. Okay, very good. Lolita, I think, has correctly identified one of the root causes, right? It is perhaps the motivation of the candidates isn't aligned. Let's go to Latifa. Latifa, what do you think could be another potential issue that we are doing that we're not doing correctly?
Okay, actually, I have been recruiting the kind of BE or FE intern and student who interested in that role. Actually, there are some problems. What happened in Indonesian IT student? First, most of them who has skills that we required is the students that coming from the at least the second year, because in the first year they don't have any any they still not learn about the what we required to them. And then and then the second, um, still Indonesian students still have a not like India. In Indonesia, the IT research is still like a lack of IT research.
Okay.
So we can just I think if we looking for someone who fulfill our requirements, it's only coming from the top universities such as Bandung Technology University, ITS, or even University Indonesia, because the other universities still don't learn about what we want them to have. Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Very
that's also the problem.
Okay, very good, Latifa. Actually, that actually can we have had Indian students apply for internships before. We've had students from Hong Kong, Singapore, as we already know. So perhaps we can expand the scope of where we target for this particular campaign to broader regions so that we get that audience fit. Very good point. So Lalita has brought up an issue with the applicant motivation. Latifa has brought up an issue with the applicant's skill set. My thing is also this. I think we can actually dig deeper and look for why would somebody actually want to do an internship here? And the most compelling reason for, let's say, software programmers is what kind of projects are you working on, right? What is interesting? Because based on the projects that they work on, that is what they can add into their portfolio, and that is what improves somebody's career opportunities as well. So my current question is, are we actually showing the projects that we're working on in the outreach as a way to describe the benefit? And if we're not, then perhaps we need to consider how to go a little bit deeper to show actually what kind of projects, and then go a little bit deeper even to maybe get employee advocacy. Who has actually worked on a project before, maybe in the past, that would be happy to testify, like, how that project has become useful in their career. So that, I think, can be a new, fresh perspective on how we approach this to get the right candidate. Back to Aaron.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing. So this is our last updates for HR interns. And we have 6 distribution post updates and 4 applicant updates for today. And okay, friction, no SLA yet. Okay, secretary, I think we need to like giving RV some reminder to put the SLAs and need to make one now that is in high priority. And for June, 8 CV rejected and 3 dropped out from 11 applicants. So there's some problems with the quality of applicants. And for the actionables, me as the awareness PIC and Shumin as proxy, please let RP know what do you think about the SLA and giving more targeted audience to discuss previous and plan for the distribution posts. Okay, I think I will give back to the chair to Mr. Jin.
Back to the chair.
I guess it's thumbs up.
Yep.
We can and should back to the main room.
Oh, one last thing, everybody. Let's do this, right? So every discussion, we have time to review the Trello boards, and we're much more fluent now. We're finishing on time, and we're also getting the main discussion finished faster, which is also really good. I'd like to see if we can incorporate some of the discussions that we're having on our own paper within our own funnel layer, also in this particular thing. Not This is one takeaway that we learned from leadership. Most discussions don't need to actually be concluded in this particular format. They just need to be started, and we need to know who is going to be involved in that discussion and when they would like to reach a conclusion. Right? So it's not necessary to have these debates and figure out whatever. It's more important to know, okay, all right, these three people will think about this particular problem, and they'll come back with a solution before this particular day. That is a more effective way to coordinate our time and use our
Takutnya ada yang
resources. So,
nungguin.
thank you very much, Aaron. I think you did great, Aaron. By the way, well, we'll give Aaron some feedback later. Let's jump into the main back to the stage.
Wah, this time we first. Yay.
All right, how did that go?
Great, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Um, let's just get quick feedback. Shaylin, how did Vera do in the breakout? Was it better than the previous time, or actually Vera didn't do it previous time? But are we getting more fluent at this than last week?
Mm, I guess so. Like we actually covered like all the hiring campaigns, like from high, medium to like low priority, because like we actually don't have like a lot of discussion as well right just now. So
Great,
like we have more time to like discuss about things,
great.
and yeah, and like about the friction itself, it's also like has been like discussed as well, like during the breakout session.
Okay,
More
fantastic.
time.
Did you guys in middle funnel get a chance to discuss about the discussion topics inside middle funnel?
Sorry, the what?
Like the discussion topics within middle funnel.
Ah, right. For the discussion, we decided to do it as sync. Right? So like, apa before next weeks, like before next one,
Okay,
so we
got it.
should be able to.
Okay, let's go back to Vera then. Vera, please lead us through the conclusion of this talk.
Okay, let me share screen first. I see. Okay, let's start with wait, where's the conclusion? Okay, let's start with Furcon awareness conclusion. Furcon.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. So in conclusion, most of most of the yeah some we generally do better in distribution posts this week in terms of quantity, but somehow we forget the quality side. So yeah, that's why in most of the campaigns the middle funnel SLA did not run. And also in the HR there's no SLA yet, so it's pretty crucial. So please better we would set it. And also we notify that lack of motivation and qualified candidates in several highly skilled required um, chapter like PD is really urgent. So we should broaden our scope. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Con for the conclusion. I actually agree. Like the distribution SLA are all achieved, but I think like we need to like analyze
Pardon?
the qualities. Hello, hello.
Oh,
Yeah, Vera.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think the top funnel might need to like analyze for the qualities, and for the SLAs for HR and HAR, if I'm not mistaken. The champion are going to provide the SLAs by Wednesday. Yeah. Um, Max to Shumin for the middle funnel. Yeah, middle funnel conclusion.
Okay, so for funnel, most of the campaigns we are not like meeting the SLAs. And then for some of the roles like we wrote at the SLA for Wednesday Scrum. Then the idea of intern audition is for the full-time roles, both marketing lead and VCL for yeah. So this intern audition idea came from Lily's. So what she wanted and she suggested was like for me to work on to like design a program that we can formally recruit like interns and to like help them progress to a full. Yeah. Then next week we uh, last this week this. So Shirley actually did up like a Gantt chart on like the expiration dates of the contract of like our interns. So now we can better see like when are the people leaving and all that. Yeah. So now that we can better see and then we know like if we are maintaining our SLAs. So there was some movement in the priority of the campaigns. And because of that, like we might need to redelegate some of the PICs because currently all the like most of the priority campaigns are like under myself and Vera. So yeah, we might need to look into that thing. Yeah, back to you, Vera.
Okay, thank you, Shubin, for the conclusion. And yeah, we don't meet most of the SLAs, but it's okay. Fail fast, guys. Hopefully, in the next week, we can like achieve the SLAs. Yeah, and yeah, we have two like upcoming projects, which is the intern audition and Gantt chart, which is already explained by Shumin. I think that's all for the conclusion. Does anyone want to add something? Yes, Mr. Jing.
Yeah, I'm going to add a conclusion here. So currently, I think the breakout session conclusions summaries are unsatisfactory, and I'll explain why. We don't really have a summary of what the problem is, right? We don't really have a summary of what the intended solutions are, and we don't know who is going to do it by when. So this is something that I think we need to broadcast or get to know before the end of the joint meeting. It might need some more time to get that habit in place, but let's just say for right now, for Khan Shumin, can we actually have that format? Um, Mostly the campaign SLAs are not met. Okay, so why? What is the problem? Intern audition. What problem are we trying to solve with the intern audition? Shaylin, okay, has a NAT chart. What problem is that trying to solve, and when should we actually see a solution by that? Might need a delegation. Okay, might is not a good word here. You can say, look, we need to consider this, and we will have a conclusion by this particular date on a redelegation. Okay, that I think would be much more structured and would give, let's say, the rest of the chapter a clearer outline. Let's go back up to the awareness side. So on the awareness side, let's say HAR is not meeting SLAs. Okay, that's good. So we have an idea, right? We're going to approach tourism from across the country. We're going to expand the scope. Let's say CMI distribution not achieved. The rest are not. Okay, so we have distribution achieved. The rest is not. Okay, what do we think is the problem, and how are we going to achieve it by whatever action we plan to take this week? BI just start. Okay, yes, we're going to use the mailing list to innovate, I guess, or to not reinvent the wheel. And HR no SLA yet, but we know that we're waiting for the SLA from middle funnel too. Okay, so let's finish all that, and then once it's finished, just announce it in the Slack channel for Khan and Shumen, and we'll take a look at that and know what the conclusion is. Okay. Does everybody have 5 minutes? I just want to take a quick 5 minutes to see how we're progressing. Let me go over to let's go over to Furkan. Furkan, how is this meeting today compared to any of the meetings that we had last week? Are we making progress? Are we getting worse? Tell us what your thoughts are.
In my opinion, compared to last week, yeah, I guess we could get on time, especially on the upper panel side,
Okay.
and yeah, that's a one good progression. But besides that, I don't see any progression.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So we're making some progress. Ilham, let's go to you next. Ilham, what's your feedback? Are we doing better or worse than last week?
I think we're going better as compared to last week because especially in middle funnel side, we can complete like all the campaign compared to last week.
Okay.
And it is not about the quality, but I think we have plenty good quality discussion in middle funnel.
Great. Do you think that prioritizing the topics beforehand has helped us achieve a shorter period of announcements and general discussion and allowed for more time for in SLA discussion.
Yeah, but I think preparing will make the discussion shorter.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Shumen next. Shumen, what's your opinion? Are we doing better this week or last week?
I think much better this way because
Okay.
like we know where to put the discussions also. Although like there are still many places to navigate to, but I think it's still much better lah.
Okay.
In a way, it's more clean cut. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think that preparation has anything to do with why we're getting a better general meeting now?
As in general wise, I'm not too sure, but for middle funnel, it definitely work when like we fill in like our campaign cards. So once we come and discuss, it's really on like
Okay.
sharing like what problems we face and how we solve it. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Hey, let's go to Shaylin. Shaylin, do you think we should make this official? Should we rebudget the time? Like maybe 20, 15 minutes for the first part and 30, 40 minutes or 35, 45 minutes for the second part. Over to Shaylin.
Considering that there are more hiring campaigns, right? Yeah, I think we should like re-budget the time because
Okay.
like yeah, if it's discussion, then we can make it like asim, right? So it's more into like apa?
Okay.
We can have like shorter time for discussion.
Okay, got it. So let's shorten the beginning and widen the second part, right? The breakout should actually be, let's say, 3/4 of the meeting, and the general announcement should be 1/4 of the meeting. Let's go over to, oh, Jenna, I see you. Jenna, what do you think? Better or worse?
Yes, I think it's better
Okay,
because we just dive straight into like the problem and like the solution
okay,
now.
excellent.
So I think it might be better if like we have like 10 minutes at the end, which means like uh,
Good. I didn't hear all of it, Jen, over there, but I did hear that it's better and it has the right structure. Everybody, congratulations. I think this is a really good milestone. So, this is the emotional journey of what it's like to go from a system that is working to go through an innovation cycle of like having uncertainty and then to find a better solution afterwards. I think actually HR is on top now. We have one of the more efficient meetings at scale with a larger team. And it's taken, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks to develop that pattern. But we're back on top again. This is a good feeling. This is a good feeling. So the one takeaway I want everybody to walk away with is just to understand that that is actually the process of what innovation should feel like. You should feel like you're stepping out of your comfort zone. You should feel like things are messy and you need to re-coordinate and over-communicate with everybody to get it right again. And it should feel like at the end you see the benefit, right? You're getting more engagement in the right areas and a little, and not having everyone just kind of stand around and listen for every personal update. Great, fantastic, everyone. Thank you very much, and have a great one. I'll lead the next discussion. I'll work with my secretaries and my moderators to plan out the Wednesday meeting. Okay. All right. Have a good day, everyone. See you. Have a good. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Oh yeah, if you have
Thank
any feedback,
you.
let's meet on Discord, yeah, guys.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Feedback.